I'm Miss Jennifer, and this is my daughter Emily, and today we're doing the third lesson of the hand sewing for all ages. And this is what we're making. We're making a pin cushion, and I did this one, and Emily did this one. And inside the kits, if you do have one, all of the parts that you need for it are in there. Let's see, it has a little cover on the back. These are a few that some of the kids did where I was volunteering at Emily's school. So these are a few of them. You can see some were done. I think this one was done by a kindergartner. This one also, I'm not sure. I think two of them were a kindergartner. One was like a third grader or fourth grader. I don't remember how old he was. But these ones didn't get picked up. But we're going to be making this pin cushion, so enjoy the video. The first half of the video I demonstrate, and then Emily teaches you how to do it in the second half. So stay tuned and watch her do her magic, and give us the thumbs up at the very end. Thanks very much. So for this sewing tutorial, you're going to need your round cut fabric that was in your kit. And if you don't have a kit, you just need a piece of fabric that you can cut in a somewhat round position. This is kind of an example of what we're working on. These were done by a couple of students. I think these two were done by kindergartners, and this one was done by, I think, a fourth grader. So you're going to have your stuffing that's in the kit, and you're going to have this little piece of felt, which is actually going to be used on the bottom. You will need your thimble that's in the bag, your needle threaders, one of the buttons that's in the bag, and your needle. So I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff out of the way a little bit. Move that. That's Emily's. Okay, so I'm going to have about an arm length. And we are going to thread our needle. So remember, the needle threader goes through the hole of the needle. And then we put the embroidery thread through the needle threader, and then we pull that off. So then we've got our needle threaded. So I am going to get my ends together, pull the needle down to the end, and then I'm going to do a simple little knot on the end. And you can do it any other way that I showed in the other videos. And what we're going to do is we are going to sew around the edges and scoop it up and then stuff it. So about kind of a finger's width away from the edge, you're going to want to take your needle, and they can be about a finger's width wide. So if you want to go down to get it started, you're going to need to come back up about a finger's width to the next stitch. So I would highly recommend that you try and get into the habit of kind of going down and then going up. So do this so you're not kind of going down and then up, you're just kind of doing it as one step. So you go down and then you come back up. Now there's actually a shortcut to even this, but I'm going to do this a couple more times. So go down about this amount. Now if you make these any bigger, so if you make the spacing between them any bigger, it's not really going to keep its shape. It's going to be harder to pull together. And if you make it any smaller, it's going to be too hard to gather. So you want to have it about a finger width apart of each one. So now once you've done a couple of these, there's actually a little cheat. So if you kind of put your needle down a little bit, and we get out for this, you can actually go back down into the fabric and then come back up. And you can actually do this several times. But you don't want to get this out of hand. So maybe do, what do I do? 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe about 4 times, and it just gets a little bit tight to do that. So if you notice, the thread isn't going to go all the way around. Well, that's on purpose. So I'm going to do a little bit more. 3 and 4. So I did 4. And then what I can actually start doing is we want to keep this part here flat, but you can actually start pulling your fabric. As long as what you're getting ready to sew is fairly flat, you'll have enough thread. So go down, up, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. And so if you're wondering what is the purpose of making this little tomato or pin, this is basically a pin cushion. So this way when you're sewing you can stick your needles in it and not lose them instead of just leaving them on the table. So that is why we have a pin cushion. Now these are going to definitely be a little bit different than the ones that you would buy from the fabric store, because these ones are homemade. And I'm not even sure if I have a regular one from the fabric store anymore. I used to have them. Okay. As I keep going around.
So you have only homemade ones?
I only have, well, these ones aren't even mine. These ones belong to some of your classmates. So hopefully once we get this class finished filming, and when all the students are going to pick up their supplies, then these students can pick up theirs. Because I know that they were very proud that they finished them. And I'm very proud that they got them done too. So anybody can do this. You see, I'm just kind of coming around. As you can see, it's kind of getting a little bit funny in here. So I have enough string here. We want to go all the way over to where so it won't be necessarily flat anymore. Can you get me the bag of stuffing over there, honey? So this one, yes, the dirty stuffing. This is stuffing that actually came from one of the kits. I'm going to keep that. And then this is ours. We actually pulled this, I think, from an old pillow, which you can use also.
No, a shoe.
A shoe. Oh, that's right. It was a stuffed animal shoe that we pulled it from, because the stuffed animal. Well, I think it's. I don't know if it's dirty because it's been washed. It's just stained. It was my favorite slippers. They had monkeys on them, and I just couldn't do anything with it. So you're going to have some stuffing.
Because one of our cats ripped it.
No, actually wearing it on the bottom. The cats did chew holes in the faces, but it was from actually wearing it. So once you've kind of got this, you've got this little tube. Looks like a little shower cap. If you've ever seen a shower cap, many of you have never, because people don't really use them anymore. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this. We want to pull this as tight as we can, but enough so we can put stuffing in it. So this might not be enough stuffing, so if you do have stuffing laying around, you can put more stuffing in it. And if I do new kits a little bit later, I might try and add a little bit extra stuffing in there. I don't want to give you guys my stained stuff, so you guys get clean stuffing. Why ours gets used stuffing. But if you have an old pillow that nobody uses anymore,
and you won't see the stuffing in.
Yeah, you won't see the stuffing, exactly, and you're not going to be sleeping on it, so it's not like it's, you know, you got to worry about it. So you can make it as full as you want. As you can see, this one is super, super tight. So this one probably had about 3 times this amount of stuffing in it. And then this one's kind of squishy, and so is this one. So there's different amounts that we put in them. And this one,
you can have them stuffed, and that makes, if you have it too stuffed, it might be hard. And when you have it not very stuffed, it might be soft.
Okay. So we're going to finish tightening this all up, so we kind of have that everything's kind of gathered there. And then what we can do is, remember that knot from the beginning? What I'd like to do is I would like to take and tie these two together. So kind of the knot from the one and the new thread, the end of the thread. That way we kind of get as tight as we can. You might need to get some help to get that. And then the idea is that we're going to end up, once we're done making the other stitches on here, we're going to then take this and cover it up with a little bit of hot glue or other fabric glue just to hide all of the little ugly stitches that you have in there. Okay, so if you have enough thread left here, what you can do is we're going to take this and go straight through the middle and go all the way. I gotta careful, try and get it right up into the middle there so you can kind of see where I'm pushing it. Now this is where you might need your thimble. So in order to get that needle all the way through, you gotta really push at it, and we don't want to stab ourselves, so you can use that thimble to push it through. So once you have it all the way up in the top, and you may have to use a couple different pieces of thread. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to take and wrap it. So we got it here. It's going to come right down. I'm going to go back into the middle, and then I'm going to try and get it right about the same part. See, you can kind of see where the needle is. And then use my thimble to push that through so I can grab it. And then I'm going to pull that real tight. See? Now I can probably do this one more time. So I'm going to go through the middle, try and find the center, because we're going to put a button up here to hide the stitches up here. So we get that needle there, push that up, and you can have them come next to each other. And once we have that, then I'm actually going to take and push this back down through the back. So that way we hide any of our loose threads back here. And then we can cut a little piece. We'll get another. I do this one a little bit longer so I can go around more than just twice.
You went more than twice because you did the outside too?
Yeah, but there really not much of the thread actually got used to the outside because we pulled it all together. So it's really almost that full length is what we use just to wrap it those 2 times. So here I'm going to get my needle threader in there. And remember, these things are a little bit delicate, so try and hold on to the little prongy things as you're pulling the thread out. Again, we can take here. And what we can actually do, if you don't want to knot this, you can take and knot these 2 together. Actually, you know what I'm going to do?
You can knot that and then knot onto there. That's what you could do.
Yeah, I think we're going to knot here, and then I'm going to knot onto here. I might not have needed to do that.
I read your mind.
You read my mind, yep.
Or you read my mind.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually just going to take it all the way through. Well, that one's kind of hard to, so I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to wait until it's actually all the way here. Boop. Let's see. Okay, so I still have the 2 ends, but it's easier to keep it a little bit tighter right here. So now you got those 2 pieces, which is the end of the previous one, and then this new one. And I'm going to pull those real tight and do a knot. Remember, we'll be able to trim all these things off. So now we're back over here, and we can take and we can go, we're out, we're going to come back around here, come back up to that middle again, like that, and then we're going to come back around. So keep going back to that middle part, and we keep trying to get it as close to that middle as possible. And now, once you're pulling them tight, you can actually space them however you want. So I'm going to come back through the back, find it right about there. And see, I still, even with that longer piece, I wasn't able to get too many. So this one is almost a little bit too short to do it, so I'm going to go back through the middle because I won't be able to wrap it around again. And now I need to do 1 more piece. So I think with mine I'd like to have 2 more little pieces like that. So that one got 3. So we'll try and get 2 more pieces plus the button sewn on there. Make sure you get that nice and tight before it causes a tangle. So I get my knot there. Go back from the back into that middle bit again. And once you've got that pretty much all the way in, I'm going to take that last string that we just had and this new one and knot those two together. And that way we keep everything nice and tight. And then we can trim that off. Okay, so I'm going to come right around here again. Okay, let's try and put that over there. And I've got one more. It's going to go all the way back through the middle. There you go.
And it might look like
this looks a little like a pumpkin or a flower. The ones that you see in the stores are actually tomatoes. And then you're going to take, remember how we did the button in the other one, you're going to take one of your buttons and we're going to go through the bottom, right? And then we're going to come back in. Now this one is less important. Really the reason why I'm using this is to hide that little bit of mess that we have right there. So I'm going to take it, I'm just going to push it straight through the back. And I'm using my thimble. It's kind of hard. And you see that? Then we have that little button right there. And then I'm going to come and I'm actually just going to stitch onto something back here. So kind of catching a little loop on fabric. And I'm going to go catch the loop just like that. So we make a little knot in there. And then I am done. So once you have that, then we're going to go and we are going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back. And I'm not going to do this on screen. Be very careful with working the hot glue. The hot glue can burn you. If you don't have hot glue, do you want to go get one of the craft glues for me?
Which one?
I don't know. You've got a whole bunch of craft.
The
fabric
sticks?
one. No. Glue stick will not work. Why don't you go get one of the liquid glues. Come on. Get it. We're on video. And make sure to clean up your mess. I want to try and push any messiness and kind of shove it down inside there. I don't think Elmer's glue will work either. Can you get one of the other ones? The fabric glue, the craft glue. We have craft glue. This is washable, so that probably won't be very good. Hot glue is going to be the best. Be careful with it. These ones were all done with hot glue, so they don't come off very easily. But yes, that one. Okay. This is Aleene's Tacky glue. So this one is a little bit better. I know it's just for crafts. And has this one been opened yet? No, it's not been opened. So we're going to chop off the tip of that. Oop, there we go. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around the edges. Oop. And then you're just going to have to let this sit. Put it over the top, press down. And if it wants to come off, maybe you hold it down for a few minutes until it starts to dry. Like that. And so maybe what you can do is you can even take this, and if you've got something heavy, like a phone, put that on top. Something to hold it down, or that, and you can put a book on top of it. But we want to make
the other side.
Yeah, but this way it kind of helps push it down. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I think we're going to let that dry, and we have a new pincushion.
So I'm going to show you sometimes how to knot, and sometimes I have loops around my finger, and then I put it through the loop just like the other ways, and then it makes it closer to the end.
You hit record, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you so from you have the knot on the back, so then it's not like you see the knot. Or you can have it on the front. And you can go like right there. Then you can do it like that. Or you can do it sometimes you can just do like that much. And I'm just going to go all the way around, and then when you get there, you're pulling it when you basically get to a quarter. When you end a quarter of it, you can pull it, so then, or when you are almost having a thread. I'm just going to and sometimes if it's your first time, you might not be good, and then you have to practice. And that's good to practice. And if you get it right the first time, you might not want to do it. And you might not like doing it anymore after that first time. You might have to practice doing like 2 stitches at a time, or more than 2, or more at a time. So then it's easier and not going. Okay, so you can just do it like that over and over again if you want, or you can go like that, and then you would have to flip it over, and then go. So then maybe like that big, and then go up, because that may take you more time than doing the 2 or more at a time. And I do a bunch. And basically like a quarter And basically, maybe like a quarter of the way. I'm going to pull it when I only have that much thread left. So I have more. Or you can pull it before that. I'm just going to and then and when you get finished, you can do the, when you're finished with doing the circle, I'll show you what to do. So, I'm just showing, and I'm just gonna like pull it like that. And this needle right here is not very sharp. And the needles that are in the kit are sharp, so you can touch them, but it's going to hurt. Maybe. Sometimes I just itch because I itch. And try to make it so then you're starting to have it like that, so then it's not like that. If you want to have it like that, you can, because that's your pincushion and rolls of how you want it. Because when you're done and you have this, you can make like it look like a pumpkin or something like that. I'm going to pull it a little bit more. So now I'm just like, when I sew it, I'm going like, so then I pull it when I'm sewing, and I'm making sure that it's going to be like that. see? It's like wrinkled and that's like what you want. And if you haven't tried this, just don't be mad that you failed. Normally I like doing that so then I'm not like bored. Using it up so that it can sound better. And that out there. And now I'm going to if you want to, you can go like that. Sometimes I like doing one stitch on by one stitch in, but sometimes I don't, to make it faster. I'm going to pull this time because it's almost there. And then when you're done, I'll show you what it will look when I'm done. Sometimes you feel like doing small ones and big ones, because normally I do small ones or big ones, and small ones only. That's why it's kind of hard to do this. If you want to learn how to make a pin cushion, you have to do big ones. Not too big. Make sure that doesn't happen. And if you have, just like instead, you can make like a pumpkin face on it to make it like a pumpkin, because that's how I'm gonna have mine. And I'm going to and these can get used for needles when you use needles, so then you don't lose where they are. So now I'm going to pull because I have enough there, and I'm almost done. And then you might want to have it so then it's out. You might. And now I'm going to do it that way. And the four. Yeah, 3, 4. Yep, 4. We'll make 4 stitches. We'll stay like that. And then I do stitch. That makes it stitch faster. So now I'm like that much. So I'm going to do one more stitch. Mommy, what do I do now?
You hit the off button?
No.
Okay, hit off for a second.
But I'm at
Okay, you hit off.
that.
Okay, are you gonna stuff it now?
Stuff time.
Yep.
Stuff time. Now you stuff it. And make it little bits. So then I'm trying to put it over there. And stuffing is the fun thing, because I normally stuff with fabric scraps. So then I can reuse stuff. And I don't have to use stuffing. And you'll get clean stuffing. I don't mind stuff. Just like that isn't. Okay. And we want I'm gonna have mine like that stuffed. And now I'm going to pull it. That much. Mommy, I stuffed it.
Okay, you done?
No, what's after stuffing it?
That's when you start wrapping the thread around it.
And next, it's basically like your whip stitching. And I'm going to think that I'm going to need and you will get a longer piece of longer needle. Oh, I'm looking. And you won't be able to. Just gonna tighten it. And I'm going to cut it right, maybe like right there, so then I'm going to get my new piece of thread that like maybe a lot, so then you can mess with it. And now I'm going to put that through. Make sure that it can hang, so then it's not off. You can do it wrong. And I'm going to get it so then line it and then roll it and wrap it like that through, and if it's super close like that, just keep pulling and pushing it. Let's sound closer. And now I'm just going to knot these two together. the knot. Now I'm going to about there. And I'm now going to make it pull back. And make sure it's like spaced. I want it. Yep, I'm going to have like a pumpkin, so that's spaced. And now I'm going to go and back, middle, and and since the tip isn't, I'm going to I'm trying to get all the way into the middle. And just, no, it says okay. You can now I'm just and I'm going to, since I'm there, I'm going to go back through. And you might get used to it, and then you're going to be like done. That's how most of my projects go. And you can and I can squish and you don't have to have squishy. Normally, and make it squishy, but not too stuffy. Yeah, I need another thread. You see it's starting to look like a pumpkin or a pincushion. I'm going to keep it loose so then I can knot the new thread onto there. And I'm just going to have it like
How's it going? Are you almost done? Oh, that's beautiful.
and it's squishy.
Cool. Well, you got one more side to do, and then you got to do your button, right?
I know, but I'm
Hurry up, because
going
my phone's almost dead. I don't know when. Hopefully, you'll be able to finish recording it before it dies.
to 28 minutes has been. I'm going to go in there and cut it so you can just like sometimes you might forget that you have to have it short enough. I forget that all the time. Hold on. Sometimes it's hard to go through. And now I'm going to make now I'm going to wrap around. And if you have too much thread, it kind of doesn't matter. I'm going to, from here, I can I'm just going to knot it. These two. And these two. Oops. You might have to have someone to help you. This isn't even hard. Now I'm going to and knot it. So you basically do a double knot so that it stays in.
Get your button on now?
No, I'm still.
Okay. Don't forget, my phone's almost dead.
I know.
And I'll stop recording when it's dead.
to look like that on the bottom. Or how I'm gonna do it again. I should do it again. I don't have enough thread. I'm just gonna end this and end the thread. And then it's very, sometimes mine is. Mommy?
What?
Can you show me what I do to...
Now throw the button on. So now you need to sew the button on. So you have another piece of thread.
How big?
That's probably big enough. You're going to go from the bottom up to the top.
And maybe if you have a big enough needle, you can...
Your needle threader's right here.
I know, but... almost. I might be able to. I'm gonna get to do it because I'm doing it. And it's like that big for the button. And I'm going to go and do this, soak it a little bit, and then sometimes it just drops here, so now I'm just gonna make clear that I'm getting that now. And you won't get these buttons. And I'm going to use this because I need to use it. I sewed the button on. Mommy, I sewed on the button.
Okay. Awesome. Say thank you and then end it.
Thank you for watching this.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to have more content like this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment below. Thank you very much.